One of the most infamous groups on the internet is the Passport Bros, and that is for one reason. Number one, they don't have a leader, and number two, there are a bunch of guys, primarily African American, that have decided that they would leave America in search of better romantic options. And here's the kicker, they're actually successful.
He's right, you know.
Being successful while giving the middle finger to American women will sometimes be an issue, especially if those women in America that you're talking about are struggling and not making success in the romantic market. And if you're an honest guy and say something like this,
I became a passport bro for 3 reasons. Reason number 1, I didn't want to be a stepfather to another man's kids here. Most of the women in my community, most of the women that I was meeting and dating who were aesthetically pleasing to me, who I was attracted to, had kids. I simply didn't want to pay for another man's kids. Reason number 2, they all want you to pay for everything. So why don't I just go somewhere else where my money goes longer, stretches further, and I can give them the same exact thing for a fraction of the cost. And reason number 3 of why I became a passport bro is because of the obesity rates. I like women who are thin, who have flat stomachs, who wear their own hair, and who have good shapes.
You're going to piss a lot of people off. And being pissed off is what has occurred, especially with American women and even some men. It's gotten so bad that women are starting to warn these men about dating women overseas.
This one's for the men who just say they've given up on Western women and are gonna go abroad for a woman. I understand some of your frustrations, but if you're gonna be a passport bro, there are certain downsides. First of all, you have no idea if this woman is using you for a visa or your money. You're not gonna be able to have fun banter with her. She might be more feminine, but she might not feel like your best friend. She might feel more like a maid service. Number 2, you're definitely going to run into some cultural differences. Is she going to be willing to give up her family, her friends, her career just to come to the States for you? You guys are also going to run into the issue of where to live. Or are you willing to move there? Passport broing is a cop-out for something that can be easily solved.
Now don't get me wrong, she's making some really good points here. But is she making good points to help men, or is she jealous that some of these men are having success? And now you're starting to see that whenever a passport bro passes away, there's almost like news segments on TikTok.
A passport bro has died in the Philippines. Now, I made a video about this passport bro about a month ago because he was kidnapped in the Philippines. The kidnappers were trying to get him. He was resisting and they shot him.
And that same TikToker will also do it if it happens again.
So this passport bro was from Vermont. Earlier this year, he married a woman in the Philippines and he moved to the Philippines. He moved to a remote island in the Philippines, and he had recently came back to the United States to work, stack up his coins, and then he went back to be with his wife. Shortly after he got back, he was kidnapped from his residence.
Now don't get me wrong, a lot of brothers do have success in the passport bro community, but let's face it, these things do happen. And typically these things happen in Latin America. Places like Brazil, Colombia, and the Dominican Republic is where a lot of black men go to. I don't know what's the reason why that is, but a lot of brothers like black women still are women that are mixed with black, that have, a lot of those good features like, lighter skin, bigger booty, cheek clapping access. And sometimes guys fall in love because Dominican women, Brazilian women, and Colombian women, they're very unique and they're very catering to men. And this is exactly what happened to this young man by the name of Jason Forrester. He was from Pennsylvania and he moved down to Miami. And of course, Miami is a chip shot to the Dominican Republic. And he met a very beautiful woman and he had a long distance relationship. And I guess those cheeks were so good. He said, listen, stop the show. These cheeks are so powerful, I have to bring them to America. And when he did, things were going okay. Until
he likes to talk, he likes to tell me what he's doing, send me videos of where he's going.
Marcus Forrester says he and his son Jason, 38, voice texted each other every day and many times a day, especially after Jason moved from Beltsville, Maryland to Miami, Florida. Frequent trips to the Dominican Republic led to love and then marriage to a woman Jason met there.
He met the parents and so on. They got married in DR, and he started making arrangements to get her to come here legally. And that did happen. She got a visa.
Forrester says Jason and his new bride struggled a bit as they transitioned from a long-distance relationship to sharing a home. Then something unexpected and shocking happened.
One day he came back from work and the apartment was cleaned out. She left and disappeared.
Now let's stop right there. The father says, listen, my son was dating this lady. He moved her, to where he was at. He came home from work one day and all of the furniture was gone. Now, stop the show. Like, if I was moving back to the States, I would have no way of how I would pack up, like in Uganda, somebody's whole entire house and just move back to my home country. Like, first of all, there's so many questions with that. Like, number one, where would I take the furniture? Who would I sell it to? Because if the man goes to work, he's there at least 8 hours. So that means this lady had been thinking about it. So she had to have some Dominican connections inside of Miami. So the whole entire time where he's at work, she's talking about selling all his stuff and going back to the DR, which means this. She already had a dude back in the DR, got to America, found out that she really missed the other guy that she left, sold his stuff, took the money back to DR to be with this other dude who may have been her Dominican pimp. Now, I'm not saying that this happens to every lady in the DR or whatever. That's not what I'm here to say. But I am here to say that I've heard stories like this. And a lot of guys have experienced something like this in the Philippines or a place like that. And it's heartbreaking to understand, like, your wife, a lady you spent so much time and you loved, and she left you, she won't answer the phone, you can't get in contact with her, and you want to save your marriage. Some guys will not give up on love and their investment, so they'll do something. They'll fly back to where she's from and try to talk to the family about getting the daughter back home. And then when he did this, well, this happened.
Forrester says his son was heartbroken when his wife refused to return his calls, then blocked him. He says Jason decided to fly to the Dominican Republic to talk with her family, hoping they would help convince her to return to the marriage. But after the phone call from the airport 2 weeks ago, Marcus Forrester says no one, not his family or friends, has heard from Jason. Calls to the Dominican embassy have produced no helpful information, he says.
We're just very, very concerned and hoping and praying that he shows up some way, somehow. But the reality of it is it could be even worse.
Marcus Forrester is in the process of filing a missing persons report in Miami, where Jason lived and was last seen. Jackie Benson, News 4.
So the man flies all the way to the DR, tries to get in contact with her, our family, and the father has not been able to get back in contact with Mr. Jason Forrester. And for now, it looks like foul play. But have we heard about similar stories before?
I saw this video about this passport brother who met a girl over in the Philippines. He was digging her, so he decided to sell his home and move over to the Philippines to be with her or live with her. Now, he wasn't working or anything, but he figured because the cost of living over there was a lot lower, he can just live off his savings. So he got over there, everything was going fine, but his money started running low. And sooner or later, his money just ran out. Now, he didn't want to get a job over there because they don't pay anything. So he goes to his girlfriend, tell her he's out of money. Before he can say the word money, she already had her bags packed and she was out the door. So now this man had two options. He can figure out how to make enough money to fly back to America just to be homeless, or he can stay in the Philippines and be homeless. He chose to stay in the Philippines, so now he's living on the streets in the Philippines.
Now, the narrator speaks about a man that moved to the Philippines. He was living on his savings, and he met a lady, and he was taking care of her, and everything was okay. And then he basically lost his income, and so once that happened, the lady also decided that, well, she wasn't interested anymore, so she left, okay? This meant that he would be in the Philippines alone and homeless, and he decided to be homeless, trying to get money to go back to America. Now, what is the point to be learned here? And I think most guys need to understand it. Women in other countries can definitely be feminine. Women in other countries can definitely be submissive in all of those things. But at the same case, in the same time, these are still women, okay? And just like you wouldn't take a woman back in America who stole from you and emptied out your apartment and went back to another guy, or let a guy come in your house and clean out your stuff, you wouldn't do the same thing in the DR, okay? You just wouldn't do it. Now, here's something I've also noticed, is that once this man disappeared, I saw Black American women in the comments section going ham. I saw people saying stuff like this: Black American women, this has nothing to do with you. Another person says, if she left and blocked him, I'm thinking she didn't want to be contacted. I don't know though. She's right. This person goes, the family was always in on it. Enjoy your preferences. My mom's from Venezuela and is the smoothest woman I know. Passport bros think it's all fun and games, but they're messed with women that operate in pure survival. My mom can make any man believe they're a king while planning his downfall behind his back, LOL. That is how women from the third world countries are. All these men want to be passport bros and discover the dark sides of it all. Shaking my head. This person also says he got finesse and went to the DR to find and confront her. He should have just took his L. Now he's missing. Now, this is actually a really good comment. To label him a passport bro is insane. He didn't meet her while on vacation, brought her to the US and married her. She left him and he went to find answers, which I'm sure any human would want that. Now, this is something that's very interesting. A lot of these women are basically, well, this is not our issue, Black women. And the fact is, I don't believe this guy is a Black American man anyway. And there's no history of him talking down on Black women. I mean, he just was on vacation. He met a lady. He decided to marry her. He brought her back to America. So technically he wouldn't be a passport bro, but you're just seeing this hatred from women in these misandrous comments because they're mad at the passport bro community. This other comment goes, well, sisters, I'm on the way to Publix. What y'all want from the store? In other words, they don't care. Again, I understand the title on It's On Site labeling this man a passport bro when clearly I don't believe he is. But, you know, to basically feel like, you know, he kind of deserved to die because he's associated with the passport bros, it's insane. Like, what if this was your son? It just goes to show you men out there that it's not safe, okay, like you think. You can get done wrong any place in the world and be down bad. So always watch your back. Guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.